that Lusaka is among the fastest growing cities in the southern region? Did you know that city expansion creates land scarcity, which presents opportunities to bogus and fake land traders? Did you know that Horizon Properties has been diligently selling genuine affordable residential plots and farms to the public for over 20 years? Yes, Horizon Properties is a trusted name and the #1 buyer's partner in affordable residential plots and farms with a track record spanning over 20 years. Remember, buying land from just anyone could be risky. Buy land from the people you know. Buy cheap land from Horizon Properties. Come visit our head office in Woodlands on Chindo Road, right opposite Woodlands A Primary School. Kablonga Shopping Complex, shop number 8, Chindo Road, Lusaka. Lusaka Town Center on the alley behind Lusaka Hotel. Contact our Kablonga office on 0211 260422. Our town office 0211 226902. Horizon Properties, the real property merchants.
18:31 is the time. Welcome to Property Focus radio program, and of course I'm your host Nono Zaza. It is Tuesday once again right here on Hot FM. Now tonight on the show we are talking about Horizon Properties as the market leader, but before we get into tonight's topic, here's a call out to clients, and of course different category of clients, people who've done business with Horizon Properties or are still doing business with Horizon Properties. Now, clients who are offered but have not come forward to execute contracts of sales, clients who have finished paying and executed contracts of sales but have not come forward to proceed with the transfer of rights or change of ownership, clients who have proceeded with the change of ownership but certain documents are missing, for example, NRC copies, as well as clients who have finished paying and submitted all relevant documents but have not received their titles, and clients who for one reason or the other are not getting the expected feedback. Now what you need to do is contact, text, or send a WhatsApp to this number 097 9685 892 097 9685 892. Now I'm joined by Mbewe Adrian, who is Sales and Farmland Listings Coordinator from Horizon Properties. Mr. Mbewe, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Nono, and thank you for having us.
All right. Now, first things first, give us a recap of what we were talking about last week on this program.
Okay, so last week we did discuss a number of issues on the program, of which one of them is that of course, we've observed that there's a lot of competition on the market now in terms of those selling plots, which is land development. And the issue was how are we distinguishing ourselves as Horizon Properties? So, of course, I went on to explain how we're distinguishing ourselves. Of course, I got to mention to say the service that we get to provide as Horizon Properties, of course, is of quality, which is of international standard. And then, of course, I went on to discuss the advantages that the buyers have gotten from this competition, where I got to talk about the flexible payment terms and people investing in customer service. And then we also went on to talk about the hot listings which we have at Horizon Properties currently, and Rutanda did justice to that. And then after that, we went ahead and, of course, discussed issues pertaining to the Green Village, where Derek came in. And then after that, we went on to talk, of course, about our residential plots, which we're currently selling, like the different sites. And then, of course, we ended the show, of course, by giving our addresses as always. So it was quite a good show, very educative. And for those that missed out, please remember to follow the Horizon Properties Facebook page, which is Horizon Properties Limited. And you'll be able to watch what happened on the show last week if you scroll down our page.
Awesome stuff. All right. Now, Horizon Properties is recognized internationally and is currently an award-winning estate agency single office in Zambia. In which way do you think Horizon Properties has impacted and contributed to the overall property market, as well as the profile of real estate players in general?
Okay, so like you mentioned, Horizon Properties won as the best real estate single office Zambia last year. That was 2023 to 2024. So this was actually the second time that we're winning that award. And of course, Horizon Properties has continuously shouldered the responsibility of educating the masses on property transactions and the safeguards for years. So for a number of years now, we've actually invested so much into make sure to say people get the information that they need. So whenever we have the chance, we use our space and resources to advocate for the public and the property sector, which are, of course, a good example is where Dr. Sokyo Mpindi had a program on a certain TV station sometime last year in November. So on the said TV show, he strongly advocated against the increase of property transfer tax by ZRA from 5% to about 7.5%, which was supposed to be in effect in January this year. He later went on to make submissions to Zambia Revenue Authority about the matter. And I know a lot of people may not have the opportunity to actually watch that particular clip. And I think it's just fair that you play that particular clip for those that may have missed the said TV show.
All right, so all we're going to do is we're going to play the little clip there and listen to what Dr. Sokyo Mpindi had to say. To stay tuned.
Property transfer tax is a tax charged by the government at the time of transferring rights, property rights from one person to another, or from one company to another, and it's charged at the amount realized at the transaction or the market price, whichever is higher. The Director General of Revenue Authority has a right to make a decision which to take. So first of most, I want to let you know that in terms of property, we can look at land and its improvements on the land. We look at the shares are also property, shares in the company. If you are selling shares, for your transfer shares, it's like sale of shares, you have to pay a property transfer tax. We have also intellectual property, where you have it include trademarks, patents, industrial designs. If you have to sell that you are selling property, so you pay property transfer tax. You also have mining rights and rights in mining. So all those, if you are transferring those rights from one company to another, from one individual to another, that is property transfer tax is chargeable at that at the amount which is realized in the transaction. By law, the one who pays tax is the seller. I'm going to property because the vendor or vendor, whichever you pronounce it. But over time, it's becoming like a common practice where the sellers or the vendors, they put the burden on the purchaser. Property transfer tax is not a new tax. It has been existing since in 1984. It was existing under Cap 12 of 1984. So the tax law has been there. You know, if you don't pay tax, you know the consequences. You know the consequences. It's a criminal, and there are serious consequences if you don't pay tax. Yeah, and with regard to property, it's very difficult to transfer property without paying tax. Actually, it's a requirement. You can't transfer. You can't transfer rights in land, or can't transfer mineral rights or intellectual property rights from one person to another without paying tax. I say the property transfer tax administration and I would say specifically like the property sector. This is a sector like the property sector. It has been it's not properly regulated, and also the way the taxes has been administered by the Zambia Revenue Authority. It creates some kind of suspicion between the authority and the public that they're being meant to pay tax on money not realized. Because as you heard the definition, you pay tax on what you have realized or the market price. What has been happening is that the authority apparently does not have valuers, in-house valuers, valuation surveyors. They don't have. They depend on the government valuation department, and most of the time they are not up to date with the happenings in the property sector, and therefore, depending on them, it's either you can undervalue or overvalue. What's happening? The ZRA will make you to pay, for example, market price, but you haven't realized that money. The valuation is valuation, but the selling is the market which determines, and therefore, as you have heard, whatever is higher is what they take. Now you are making me to pay on the amount I haven't realized. Sometimes, even if there's evidence that money has been transferred from one bank to another bank, they're adamant. So, in other words, the taxpayers feel as if they're victimized. So, that's part of the administration. That is the challenge which is there at the moment. Because depending on values of property which are not updated is very unfortunate. What in my view, I've had a lot of contentious submissions to Zambia Revenue Authority regarding property transfer taxation on taxing amount which has not been received. But the discretion of Director General, I think in that way they should be taxing Zambians on what they have actually realized. Because if there's this kind of misunderstanding, and then that's what brings now under declaration. Over the years, I've noticed that this particular tax, it has been, I think, a point of vulnerability with regard to its application and implementation. Because, and there's been a lot of instability in the way the rates have been changing. Allow me to give you an example. In 1984, the tax was 2.5%. In 1993, it was 9.3%. In 2008, for 3%. So all this is creating instability. When it was reduced in 2008 to 3%, there is empirical research that the collections went up. Declared amount went up in the ZI debt. Then it was increased in 2011 to 5%. Yes. So this is so they have increased from 3% to 5%. In 2014, they increased to 10%, and at this time, it was the highest in the whole world. In the region. So, within our sector, we try to do the explanation and say this is injure investment. So in 2016, it was reduced to 5%. I think this is a sector. Most of the sector here is not properly regulated. There's no regulatory framework within which the consultations can be made conclusively in a well-meaning way, so that the interested parties are able to submit to make submissions that can improve this tax administration and collection. So as you have seen now in the proposed 2023 budget, it has been increased to 7.5%. Though that increment is within in the region and the world within the range, but when you consider economy by economy, I think the sector is still vulnerable. First and foremost, the effects of increment. You expect less investment, because if you add a percentage on the cost of business, cost of doing business, it means that there's the cost of business going up. That is not an incentive. Secondly, when you increase property transfer tax, it's most likely now the parties will try to transact informally by under declaration, and in that way you don't collect much, because if the taxpayers perceive that this tax is high, they may not really register. But on the practitioners, if I'm selling, and if I go to this registered estate agent who is established and will not compromise on the legalities, it's either I reduce his pay commission, or if they don't accept, I move on.
Horizon Properties, the real property merchants, offers proficient, time-tested real estate services to all property buyers and sellers. Are you selling or letting? Looking to buy or lease property? We sell and let residential, commercial, and industrial properties, farms, and small holdings throughout the country. Our pride is on offering tailor-made services to meet the unique needs of each client, coupled with innovative, effective marketing tactics for each property. Before you buy a plot or farmland, check if Horizon Properties doesn't have it at a cheaper price. Come and experience the proficiency that makes Horizon Properties stand out from the rest. Tried and trusted to deliver to its customers' expectations. We have offices in the following locations: Woodlands Head Office, in Kablonga, on the alley behind Osaka Hotel. Horizon Properties, the real property merchants.
You are listening to Property Focus, brought to you courtesy of Horizon Properties. That was the voice there of Dr. Soke Mpindi, who is CEO from Horizon Properties, and of course he was talking about the increase of property transfer tax by ZRA. Adrian, let me bring you back in. What is your comment with regards to what the doctor was trying to explain there? Everything obviously to do with property transfer, ZRA, ABCD.
Okay, so this is a program that actually aired on a certain TV station, where he actually got to talk about the effects, if at all, the property transfer tax was actually increased from 5% to 7%. So he got to explain the dangers of increasing this property transfer tax. You hear him say, in as much as this is within the range, but here we are not ready for the increase. He actually it wrote much to explain actually why he felt to say it was not the right move for property transfer tax to be increased at a particular point. So you realize that after this show, which he featured on and explained the effects of increasing this property transfer tax, he went ahead and made submissions to Zambia Revenue Authority. So after that, I would say we are grateful to the Zambian government for considering our views expressed on the program, because property transfer tax, which was supposed to be increased in January this year, is still at 5%. So instead of increasing to 7.5%, after the submissions, you realize that property transfer tax was still maintained to be at 5%. So today, when you go to pay property transfer tax, you still pay it at 5%. And then, aside from this, which is a visible impact that Horizon Properties is creating on the property market, Horizon Properties has also helped raise the standard and bar of service delivery in property transaction in estate agency. I know a lot may not know what estate agency is mostly about, but you see us mostly advertise houses which we sell on behalf of our clients or on our own behalf. So this practice, if you've been following it for some time now, you realize that at some point it was not a profession. It was not legalized. But Horizon Properties went ahead and sought to it to say this is legalized, and people who practice real estate must be registered. So and then aside from that, Horizon Properties in trying to of course raise the bar, you realize that Horizon Properties continuously conduct trainings every quarter for all our agents. So in trying to raise the bar, of course we've put out information out there. We are trying to lead by example. All our agents are trained each and every quarter continuously. We don't stop. So end of this quarter, you realize that Horizon Properties will have a training where we get to update our knowledge. And then Horizon Properties has also created a platform for property buyers to access a wide range of stock of properties. Right now, if you check our Facebook page or website, you will find hundreds of properties posted monthly. And these are properties from medium range to high end in terms of pricing. If you have not liked the Horizon Properties Facebook page, please make sure to say you like the page, you check for it and like it, so that you don't miss out on the many deals that we actually get to offer to the public. And then Horizon Properties is run professionally and has set an agenda to help alleviate the housing deficit in Zambia. This is evidenced by the many land development projects and housing development that we have had till date. When you walk around, you will see posters of Horizon Properties everywhere. You hear to say, no, these plots were sold by Horizon Properties. When you go towards the east, you hear of the Horizon Green Village Housing Development. So these are the many land development and housing developments that we've actually put out there. And these have left a mark. You realize that we've made acquiring land and, of course, getting to build a house more affordable now than it was in the old days, where people had to wait for retirement for them to get to own a plot or to get to buy a house somewhere in Kalingalinga. So this time around, Horizon Properties has made sure to say plots are cheaper. Even building a house now, if you engage us to construct your house, it's cheaper, because you hear Derek talking of incremental construction, where we allow you to build at your pace. And then aside from that, of course, Horizon Properties is currently developing the best sustainable and affordable housing development currently on the Zambian property market. This is the Horizon Green Village, which is on Great East Road in Silverest Extension. And then this is a housing project anchored on sustainability and eco-friendly living. So once complete, the Horizon Green Village will be a model of future developments of similar concepts. So the Horizon Green Village is being modeled such that if tomorrow you want to do a development, you will go there and take notes to say what was done here, what did these guys do for them to get to a point of having such a huge development. So Horizon Green Village will actually be a model for future developments. And then of course, our farmland real estate services in the country have been around commercial properties, residential, both complete and incomplete, and small holding. However, Horizon Properties in 2020 decided to change the status quo and introduced farmlands in real estate stock. This time around, when you come to Horizon Properties, you see us selling farmland in lots of 5 acres. You see us selling lands in lots of 20 acres. In the old days, if you wanted to buy, let's say a farm, let's say maybe in Chisamba, you will hear of figures as much as, they're selling a farm, it's about 250 hectares, and the price is about, let's say 5 million kwacha. That was only affordable by those that had the money. So Horizon Properties, of course, having the interest of the many Zambians at heart, we sat down and, of course, got to repackage these farms, package them in small lots so that an ordinary Zambian can get to own a farm which they can buy for as low as, maybe let's say 20,000 kwacha for a 5 acre, 3,000 kwacha per acre. So this is an initiative that we've brought on board on the Zambian property market. There are a few right now that would say, I can't afford to buy a farm, unless Sufu Nachabe. Because Horizon Properties has made land affordable. So in as much as we are in business, but we also take the interest of the many Zambians at heart. No wonder why each time we sit down to plan and package plots, we also think of that person who's selling Saraola in town. Can they afford that 5 acre lot? And you see that depending on the area that maybe we put out there, you realize that when you go to Chinyunyu, you find they're selling farms for about 30,000 kwacha. And in as much as our farms are cheaply priced, or our plots are cheaply priced, we also give you an installment plan, because what we don't want is to fix you. What we want is for you to have an opportunity to get to own land. And then aside from that, we currently have the largest stock of farmland portfolio for disposal in Zambia that we keep on adding on even as we dispose. So even as we sell land in Chiwombo, or as we sell land in Chinyunyu, many others are coming on board to say, okay, Horizon Properties, can we get our farm? Or I'm selling my farm. So here is Horizon Properties will be selling. We'll also be selling on behalf of the many farmers or the many clients. So it's our portfolio is actually huge. If you're someone who's been looking for a farm, be it in Northern Province, be it in Lusaka, be it in Eastern Province, Horizon Properties is definitely the destination or the office or the company that you need to visit, because here we mean business. When it comes to farmland, when it comes to plots, when it comes to houses, here we mean business. We have almost everything in-house that you can choose from. And then of course, for these mentioned, the many things that I've mentioned, the many impacts that we've had on the market for many years, our mission is to become an icon in property delivery services by mixing our local market knowledge with human and financial resources to create an effective and efficient delivery system in our primary market. So as Horizon Properties, we have a mission. We don't just do these things. We have a mission.
All right. Thanks so much, Adrian. I'm now joined by Lutanda Kahuta, who is Sales and Lettings Rep, also from Horizon Properties. Lutanda, good evening and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zaz. Always good to be here.
Okay. Now, several times on this platform, you have mentioned that Horizon Properties conducts training quarterly for its agents. And to the listeners out there, what are some of the advantages of dealing with a trained estate agent as opposed to just anyone that you pick in the streets?
That's a very interesting question. And To cut the story short, I think the answer is actually in the question itself. The fact that the person you're dealing with is a trained individual. And also looking at the sensitivity of the product that we're talking about real estate here. That means land, farmland, houses, both complete and incomplete. Plots, of course, inclusive in all of that. These are matters that include people's lives. People building their homes, we're talking about people's investments, retirement packages, and everything of that sort. So this needs to be handled with care. And as such, Horizon Properties does not handle this carelessly. We take it, we grab it with both hands and make sure that we deliver as required. So to do this and to ensure that all care and precaution is taken, we need to be professional in how this is executed, considering how sensitive the property market is. So what is a professional, first of all? Most people think it's a person walking around with a briefcase and suit and tie. No, quite the contrary. A professional is a person who's conducting himself responsibly. Of course, with integrity, accountability, basically in pursuit of excellence. This to us obviously means going beyond the transaction. You see, what you'd find on the property market right now is, of course, Horizon Properties, which is an established business handling transactions in real estate. And then you're going to find other such real estate companies, and then you find the people on the street agents. You see, they also will have properties, but then the way you'll be handled is different. We're talking about, will they deliver what you need? You see? Not only will they deliver what you need, will they deliver it the way it is supposed to be delivered, as it is intended to be delivered? Considering how fiscal these transactions tend to be. So when you're dealing with a professional, take for instance, you come into our offices and an agent is assigned to you, and then you say you want property. First of all, what we're going to dive into is ascertaining what type of property you want. Because most cases, once you step into an office and you tell them, I'm looking for a commodity of this nature, I want land. Definitely what that agent is going to jump on to do is tell you, oh, we have land in this area, but are they really attending to what you want? So before we even start boasting our huge portfolio, what we're going to do is ask you exactly what you want. All right. You want land in what area? Oh, I don't really have an idea as to area. Okay, well, for what purpose? What is the intended goal of attaining that land or acquiring that land? Or I want to do rentals. What income stream are we talking about here? Are you thinking of building a property that's going to give you rental income of 3,000 a month? Are we talking 5,000? Are we talking 10? Because then it's going to be about location. So now we're trying to ascertain which place is going to suit this picture. You see? So this is the type of professionalism that we're talking about. And then also it's also about relationship building, in the sense that when you and I deal with each other, I've got a sense of, I've got a taste of what you like. So next time you call me and say, Lutanda, I'm actually now interested in farms, I already have an idea of what type of farm you'd like. You already acquired land, now you want a farm. I already have an idea of what type of farm is going to be suited to you. And before I even start asking you, okay, what type of farming, I already have a taste. I'm going to tell you, well, look, according to my thoughts, this is the type of farmland that best suits you. That way, we always cut time and we're quick to deliver to what the client wants. But beyond that also, I've spoken a lot, talking on the purchaser side, but then we also attend to the vendors side. Vendors are, of course, people that come to us with properties that they would like to put out for sale. So what we do with the vendor is that we get to advise them as to the right price. Not only the right price, but also packaging of the product that they've brought to us. So I am thinking this is everything that we do, and we try to deliver only the best.
All right. We're going to take a short break. Thanks so much, Utando. We'll take a short break for the headlines.
Have a different type of glass altogether. We're talking about the tiling is extremely impressive. Maybe it's even from Dubai. But then you're building this house with a goal to sell. And then what you spend on it is astronomical. And then you come to us, or you go to anybody who is seasoned and trained and say, look, I'm disposing of this property. I would like to get this much. But then again, what is on the market does not relate or coincide with what you're asking of this particular property. And this is where we get to advise clients, even before they start developing the plots or areas, that look, it's best you restrict it to this much, and this is the best way to go about it. So, of course, as you can tell, the knowledge is vast with Horizon Properties. You will not go wrong with us, and we are the best station to come to and give you that service that you won't get anywhere else.
All right, thanks so much, Lutando, for the vast knowledge. I'm now joined by Derek Atongo, who is liaison officer from the Horizon Green Village. Derek, good evening and welcome to the program as well.
Good evening, Nono, and good evening to the listeners.
Okay. Now, what are the most common mistakes that people make when it comes to buying land or property?
Buying land or property is actually a significant investment, and therefore there are several mistakes that a lot of people make. These mistakes, one, they are costly, and also they are time consuming. Okay, so like I alluded earlier, there are several mistakes, but I'll just for the sake of time, I'll just like to go through just a number of them, so that at least we narrate the public. Okay, so among the mistakes that a lot of people make is failure to research on documentation involving the land or property in question. You know, there are times when people don't realize that this investment that they're about to make is very important, and instead of them taking time to actually research before they buy, but because of just the attachment and obviously just the appealing of the property or land, they go straight and purchase. Okay, so this is a mistake, because when you look at the documentation of a property, is very important, because some documentations are clear. There are some restrictions maybe on the particular property. Maybe there's an aspect of the title, maybe that is not available, and also any other issues that would actually affect your ability to utilize that particular property. So it's very important that you got the Ministry of Land, you do a search before you buy, you double check the existence of the title that is there, and also just for you to be certain enough that this is the right property that you're about to buy. Another mistake that a lot of people also make is not considering the land value. You know, there are areas where the property may be appealing, maybe you just see it online, and just from that moment you are so taken and you just want to have it. Okay, but you don't realize what would be the actual value of that particular property. So it is very important that before you take a step to make a purchase of that particular property, either land or just generally property, you need also to be aware of the value of that particular property, because you need to understand that a value is actually determined by several factors. So you look at the location, you look at the size, you look at the topography, and also just the general accessibility of that particular property. At least it will give you an idea of how much value that property has. So it is very critical, and it's very important for you to just imagine, because once you determine the value of that property, you'll be able to imagine, if you want that property for business or for investment, how much money are you going to be realizing from that property, because you would have understood the value of that property. But many times a lot of people don't really pay attention, so as a result it will lead you to actually even make a loss if at all you are buying land for rent, or you are buying land for an investment that you'd want to actually put on that particular property. So it's very important that you look at the value of that land. Another mistake is people not understanding the location. Like I alluded earlier, the location also plays a critical role in terms of which property you should buy. So the location will determine the value. The location will also give you an idea of what you can invest in that particular location. Another mistake is not visiting the land before you buy. Okay, this is a very a great mistake. It is considered to be a very great mistake because it can lead you to a number of issues or problems that may you may not have anticipated. Okay, so it is very critical that when you look at a property and you have interest in that property, first and foremost, look at how you can organize a site visit, for example, so that you can physically check. Okay, there are moments where you buy a property or you buy land and you just paid without you visiting that particular property. As a result, when you go there later on, you realize that on the land, maybe the topography, it is not what you anticipated. Yeah, so maybe it is very important that you visit and you have a clear picture of what you have seen and if it is indeed ideal for you to buy. Maybe the last mistake that I'll mention is not hiring a genuine real estate company like Horizon Properties. Okay, so most of the mistakes that I just mentioned, they border on this last point. Okay, so it is very important that when you're about to invest into a property or into buying land, you must be able to find out which genuine real estate can I engage, because you are talking about working with a professional that has a deeper understanding of how the market is trending at that particular time. So they'll be able to advise you, maybe with respect to the location, with respect to value, and also generally they can be able to actually do a search for you and be able to give you a guarantee that this property that you want to go for, it is a property that will actually give you a huge return by the end of the day. So this mistake is actually mostly ignored by a lot of people simply because they feel if I go to a company, maybe they will charge me more. But this is a caution, because if you're going to engage a genuine real estate company, they will be able to do most of the work for you, so that at least your investment is secured and you don't take any risk in terms of what you invest into.
All right. Now, they say fundamentals such as location, access to different amenities, security, transport, and of course, possibility of value acceleration on the property do influence property investments. And of course, these fundamentals play a huge role in making people buy into a housing development. Could you real quickly, briefly explain these fundamentals in relation to the Horizon Green Village housing development?
Okay, so I'll start with location. The Horizon Green Village is excellently located, as the east part of Lusaka is among the prime areas at the moment on the property market. So a lot of people they are rushing to invest in Silverest area. So when you talk of location, there's no doubt about it. The Horizon Green Village is excellently located, and would urge a lot of listeners right now that you are wasting time. Please move in and be able to invest in the Horizon Green Village. The second aspect that you mentioned is amenities. Okay, so it being a gated community, there are different amenities that we have already catered for, and these are very critical amenities that borders on the well-being of families, either individuals or just investors. Okay, so I'm talking about schools, shopping mall, hospital, sports complex, and other critical amenities that people are always look for in terms of accessing services as well as commodities. So again, amenities is not a question that people should doubt. These amenities have been properly planned for, and very soon we must be able to start implementing. The aspect of security is already on point, on board rather. We have already actually deployed a security firm on site, and those that have started building can attest to this fact, that the security is there 24/7, and property and other materials that people are bringing on site, they are very safe because our security personnel are ever on the lookout. So the security aspect is already in place. And just to mention further, we have also catered for a police station. So we must be able to put up infrastructure there that will actually compel the government to bring human resource there in terms of the Zambia police. And when you talk of the value, Like I said, Silverest is one of the prime areas on the property market right now. So the value is increasing at a faster rate. So if you are still delaying and you are thinking maybe you would want to take a bit of time so that you see what Silverest will become of, you'll be shocked that in the maybe next year or a few years to come, that place will be very, very expensive. So in terms of value acceleration, the value is increasing at a faster rate.
All right, real quickly, could you give us the plot sizes and the pricing currently at the Horizon Green Village Housing Development?
Okay, so currently we have two sizes of plots. We have 20 by 22.5, which are currently going for 75,000 kwacha. Then we also have the 20 by 30. Those are going for 100,000 kwacha. Then in terms of modes of payments, we have got two modes of payments. You can either pay cash, where we tend to give you a discount on your purchase, or you can pay under a payment plan, where you can pay in installments.
All right, thank you, Derek. Lutanda, for someone who has been listening to this program, how can they find you? Where can they locate you?
Well, we're very easy to find, considering the strategic locations we found. Well, here in Lusaka, we're in the following locations. Woodlands, also our head office. This is along Chindo Road, right opposite Woodlands A Primary School. And then in Kablonga also, on Old Kablonga Shopping Complex, shop number 8, Chindo Road. And then in town, we're just right on the alley behind Lusaka Hotel. And also, if people find it more convenient, they can actually just reach us on the contact numbers. For our Kablonga office is 0211-260422. For our Kablonga office, you can call 0211-260422. And for our town office, you can call 0211-226902. That is 0211-226902. And of course, we've got a huge portfolio of properties which we expose on our Facebook page, that is Horizon Properties Limited. And everything to do with Green Village, that is the project that Mr. Derek Katongo was actually in right now, expanding on. You can contact Horizon Green Village Project. That is the page on which you're going to find all the pictures, and you get the status update as to what is being tackled currently, and the progress so far that has happened with the Green Village.
All right, Derek, as we wrap up the program, what are your closing remarks, and what should people look out for?
Okay, so as Horizon Properties, I would like to say that we put the interest of our clients above everything that we do. This is why we invest a lot in our sales executives and as well as agents, for them to provide that exceptional service to our clients, because we believe that we are not just in business, but we are there to provide service to our clients so that we meet their desired expectations. Therefore, I would like to say, buy property or land from the people you know. Buy property from Horizon Properties, because we are the best on the property market, and everyone can attest to that fact. Therefore, I would like to urge the listeners and those that are following us that please like and follow our social media platforms to get that first-hand information about the products that we get to have almost on a daily basis.
All right. Derek, I want to say thank you so much. Lutanda as well. Not forgetting Mr. Adrian Bewe there for coming through. It's always a pleasure to have you guys every Tuesday.
Mr. Zaza, the pleasure is ours.
All right. There you have it. That's it for today's episode of Property Focus. Be sure to catch us next week on Tuesday, just after 18:30, right here on Hot FM. Do stay tuned.